Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we're just going to have a little chit chat, just a nice little relaxing chat. I just have like decks and journals and books and things to share with you all. So that's what we're gonna do today. It's a nice rainy, foggy day where I am today, and so it just gives me all the cozy vibes and just to relax and chat with you all. So I think I'm going to begin with my journaling because I have a new journal that I'm using for tarot that I'm going to get into, but also I have been doing a lot of studying through the month of January, and I'm keeping track of it in my planner journal, lovely thing here. It's a Hobonichi cousin. A5 size. This is the very first Hobonichi cousin I've ever been in, I've ever used. So first time, well, I can't really say first time Hobonichi user because I did have a weeks last year that I used for tarot pulls. And a friend of mine gifted, excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. A friend of mine gifted me this Hobonichi for my birthday last year. And I love it so much. I love, like, this is my study journal, it's my planner. I love the different sections in here, so I have a lot of things going on in here. I keep track of the books I'm reading, also keep track of shows and movies and things like that. So it's a fun time. It's like my memory keeper, but again, also my study journal. I do have it housed here. My cover is a documented journey cover made by Brie, and I just got it all in black. And this right here is a paper that I stuck in here. It has my 2025 intentions or manifestations. I have all those written down on the back here for like what I want to pull in for this year. And then I've got, I'll just give you guys a like quick little tour. I use this side over here for like little cards and pockets and things, or just little like odds and ends. But I decorated the cover of my Hobonichi. I also decorated the back. But my cover here is just for like my whole theme of the year. My spirit animal, one of them is the crow. I see a bunch of them around here and they've been showing up a lot for me. So they are my spirit animal for the year, as well as the phrase, enter the dark wood. So enter the dark wood came about, I was using a book written by my friend who I'm going to be talking about in a bit again, but it's Manifesting Magic this year by Mattern. She has this workbook where you work through the prompts that she gives, and you figure out your word or phrase for the upcoming year. And Enter the Darkwood came about because this year is a shadow work year for me, big time, and which is also perfect because if you add up this year is 2025. If you add up 2025, you get the number 9, which is the Hermit year as far as tarot. Hermit is the number 9 card, and it's all about introspection and going within and listening to your intuition, but also to do some, like, for me, it's going to be doing a lot of deep shadow work and just working through trauma and things that have caused me to have certain beliefs about myself that aren't necessarily good, and things I just want to shift and change and become better. So that's what I'm working on. And so Enter the Darkwood, again, is my phrase for the year. It's what I am working towards. And so I'm also using Darkwood Tarot as one of my main decks for this year, because it's all about like walking into the dark woods and coming across different shadow aspects of yourself and working on those to, again, integrate them into yourself and become whole, to, you know, to accept them, to acknowledge them, and to like love yourself more, get to know yourself better. And so that's my whole theme of the year. I am using the Darkwood Tarot along with 4 other decks, because I'm also, along with this whole theme of Enter the Darkwood, it's part of my Gamify Life challenge. It's not really a challenge, but it's just called Gamify Life. And Dawn Michelle Tarot, of course here on YouTube, has a video about this, and it's going to be a whole separate video, so I'm not going to chat too much about all of that, but that is coming. So yeah, I decorated my cover and the theme for this year and what I am working on and pulling in. And then I did decorate the inside, and a lot of this is from ByBun, some of her artwork. And again, I have my crows and 3. 3 is a big number in my life, so which I'll talk about in a bit too, because it has to do with some studies I'm doing. But I have that here, and then my card of the year. So I pull from the Archetypes card by Kim Krans. I pull a card at the beginning of the year for like the overall theme of the year. And then I also have the guidebook message right here as well. And then I have the card of the year, which is the Hermit. And then I have my personal cards for the year. I say cards because when I you add up your birthday, so your month, the day of your birth, and then the current year, you add those numbers up and you get a number. Mine's 11 for this year. And in certain decks, the Strength and Justice card are switched. So in my personal favorite deck, Tarot Vampires, Strength is number 11 and Justice is number 8. And then in like traditional Rider-Waite-Smith decks, it's reversed. So like Justice is 11 and Strength is 8. So I felt connected to both. So I'm just working with both of those for this whole year. And come to find out, I love this. Signs and synchronicities have been showing up big time for me already this year. And so my theme of the year is the healer, which is the snake here. And I just found out this past Wednesday on the 29th began the Lunar New Year in Chinese culture, and on the new moon. And their zodiac for this year is the snake, the wood snake. And like last year was dragon, this year is snake. And I pulled this before I even found out that all of that information, and I just love how that all came about. I'm just going to give you this too. This is another collage I did for my Gamify Life theme, so there's a little sneak peek into that. So yeah, I use the back part of this as a way for me to document card pulls. If I come across spreads on Instagram thing, which I have like a separate journal where I do, like if I come across tarot spreads and stuff on Pinterest and on Instagram or anything like that, I write them down so that way I've got them and I can reference back to them anytime I want. But I did come across one this past week that I jotted down in here and did a pull on. But I'm using, so in the Hobonichi, if you're not familiar with it, you have like a monthly section that has like a monthly calendar, and then you have your weeks, like this. You have your week, which this section I use as my planner. Oops, there goes my bookmarks. That section I use as my planner, and then back here in the dailies, I use as my study thing. So like my study notebook. So Tarotverse is a YouTube channel I've been watching a lot. He does a lot of zodiac readings, and I've been looking at all 3 of mine, my sun, moon, and rising signs, and I take notes on it. If I'm watching good YouTube videos, like this is Raecine's video, Almoon513 here on YouTube. She had a shadow work, or she has quite a few shadow work videos up, but I watched one in particular that I really enjoyed, so I took notes on it. So I'm keeping track of that stuff. I'm also keeping track of other studies and things. My Onyx Storm book came, just little things like that. My Gamify Life reading here, and then like excuse me. But also again, tarot pulls and working and playing with different pairings and decks. So all of that's going in here, and I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying that a lot. So there's that. Now for my tarot journal, I usually use a comp book, or that's what I've been in. And I'm just pulling cards each day, writing down what my intuition tells me about the card, like what I'm getting just off the images alone and from what I understand of tarot. And then I'm going to the guidebooks and I'm reading those through and jotting down anything that resonates for me for the day. So I've been doing that a lot. And but my friend that I mentioned earlier that has the Manifest Magic this year book, Heather, has come out with a tarot journal that you can find on Amazon. I will, if I can remember, leave links down below for anything I mention. but this is on Amazon and I love it. It is a chunky monkey, and it's going to get chunkier because I have like, I do printouts too for like new moons and full moons, and I'm going to do those types of pulls in here, and like, yeah, just all this stuff. I also talked about the snake and stuff at the beginning here as well. Did my new moon pull. So I actually began this. I just received this like last week, I believe. So I decided to wait and begin this on the Lunar New Year. So I began it on Wednesday, and I'm loving it. There's also, I love cracking the spine, and the pages are a little bit crinkly also already because I like to, oops, I'm losing all my pages. Everything's flying out. But I like to spray and like cleanse my pages with a, I have a sage spray, like just in a little bottle, and I flip through and spritz the pages, and I just love doing that. Plus it smells really good. But I do love cracking open the spine so it lays flatter for me. And this is what it looks like. So you have a spot for today's date, today's cards, and also your thoughts. That simple. Simple, easy. I love it. So thank you to Heather for creating this journal, and I love it. I can't wait to fill this thing up throughout the year. Okay, books. I'm going to go into books and like some studies, and then decks. This book is a recent book that I received, Immaculate Immortality, Channel Dark Feminine Poetry by Lennan Smith. She was so kind to send this to me for review, so I am just beginning it and I love it already. I'm usually not a big poetry girl, but I'm working with dark feminine energy this year and I feel really connected to this. I also really love that, and she has it broken down in sections, so like per goddess, and she gives you like a lot of space to take notes if you want, and she even provides pages in here for note taking, which I think is amazing. She also includes artwork. Ooh, Lilith's in here too. But there's artwork in here as well, and they are illustrations drawn by her. So it's really, it's really cool. So I will be coming back on here to talk about this once I finish it, but I'm very grateful to be able to read that, and I'm excited about it. Okay, this book. I've mentioned this book a couple of times. It is a really good book. Great, in fact, one of the best for working, like it's a course. Tarot 101 is a course. It helps you walk through the deck and to really deep dive and study tarot and to get a grasp on the system, everything. I began this like a couple times on my own, and I got like to certain points, and then like I get sidetracked and move on to other things. So thankfully this year I am actually working through this book with a friend. So we're going to keep each other accountable and like share little things that we find fascinating or things that we're learning along our journey with it. And so I'm excited about that. Again, I recommend this book though. It is great. Again, it's a course and you can take however long you want through it. It's self-paced and it's awesome. So going back to like the crows. So I see a lot of crows here where I am, and they've been popping up a lot for me. So has the number 3. And so I kind of did a deep dive, and randomly the Morrigan, the goddess, the Morrigan, the great queen in Celtic mythology, showed up for me. So I've gone down the rabbit hole. She's the goddess that called to me during the month of January, and I am studying her right now. I have Celtic lineage, and so I really feel drawn to her, and I feel like she's been sending me signs for a long time, and I'm just now recognizing that it's her. So that's been really fascinating. So this is the Celtic lore and spellcraft of the Dark Goddess Invoking the Morrigan by Stephanie Woodfield. I've heard great things about this book, and so far I am definitely enjoying it. I love that Stephanie walks you through the whole myth and lore of the Morrigan. So you get her story at the beginning, and then she includes rituals and all sorts of awesome information in here. You get all sorts of stuff. Claiming sovereignty ritual. There's exercises, there's spells, there's blessings, like so much good stuff. So I am really enjoying this. And along with that, I saw this deck, which is also created by Stephanie Woodfield, along with Karen Storminger, and art by Naomi Cornick. This is published by Llewellyn. It's also on Amazon, and I love it. So this is what the inside looks like. It has this here where you can like set the cards there too, but it's beautiful. The guidebook's amazing as well. Here's the back. So I'm really loving the guidebook's fantastic as well. The guidebook also includes like a spell or a ritual or incantation for each card. It gives you a little bit of the story, the myth of the Morrigan, and I just love her. She's a dark feminine goddess. She's powerful. She is like the Irish, I read it somewhere, I can't remember if it's in the guidebook or what, but she's like considered the Irish Kali. She is just a force. She's just a force. She's like the goddess of war, of battle, but she's also one to help empower yourself and step into your power, take your power back, and live your life the way you want. And there's just so much to her. And again, I'm still learning, but I love her energy. I love her vibe. And so again, I'm studying her and working with this deck. It's amazing. So there's that. Okay, moving along to other decks and pairings. So recently, and I meant to look it up and totally forgot. I might have it in here. Well, you know what? I will leave the information down below for where I saw this. A lady on Instagram shared this pairing, and I was blown away. So I've talked about Tarot Vampires a lot on my channel. It's my favorite deck. It's my home deck. It's the one I connect to the most and the one that I just love. Yeah, I just feel really connected to it. And this lady had paired Tarot of Vampires with Woodland Wardens. Now this is a pairing that I never would have thought of before. Like I didn't think of it before, because like, you know, you have this animal plant energy. It's soft, it's sweet. It's a really easy deck to work with, especially if you're a beginner with Oracle as well. And then with Tarot of Vampires, like this is a deep dive study deck. There's a lot you can do with this deck. And so like, I just didn't see these two together, but whoa. My first pull, I got the 10 of Knives with this one, the Moth and Eucalyptus, an ending. And what does this mean? This means an ending, finality. 10 of Knives is a finality. So ending thought patterns, ending anything that you feel that's standing in your way or all that good stuff. And then an ending with this. And you have the moth with the skull head here. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's also right there. I was blown away. So I've been playing with these two and I've absolutely loved it. They look so beautiful together. Like no matter, like just the colors. The colors are beautiful together. I'm gonna like probably get these all mixed up, but and the messages. When I pull these two together, the messages, like the keywords on the Woodland Wardens goes so well with this deck. Yeah, I've really been enjoying it. That's interesting. So even that's interesting. Six of Grails is nostalgia, like looking back. She's like looking back at the past here, thinking about past memories. It's a happy card. And remembering like your childhood, like good things. And then you have guardianship. So maybe you're guarding something from the past, or you're thinking about a time when you felt safe, felt guarded. That's just interesting. There's just so many, like, you can just go down a rabbit hole with just this pairing alone. Like, I just love it. So that has been a big deck pairing I've been working with for my polls each day. And then another, so I've added a couple decks to my collection this year. And another pairing I saw, this is from Dawn Michelle Tarot. I did remember that one. She shared this pairing, if I can, there we go. Urban Crow Oracle with Tarot Nuages. I had never even heard of this deck before I saw her video where she paired these two, and whoa, like these two together are stunning. And this deck is amazing. So I have a few like Marseille style decks, and that's what this is. This is it says it's Tarot Nuages pays tribute to Marseille style tarot, and it has its own story. The little guidebook here has its own like story, but like I said, I have some Marseille style decks because they're the pip decks, the ones that just have for the minor arcana, instead of an illustrated image, you just have the items. And here's the backing. I did edge mine in black already, but I love this deck. Oh, the artwork is so cute, and it's so different and so funky and so just like, I don't know, I just love it. You have these mushroom dudes, you have gargoyles, you've got all sorts of these different beings, and it's just beautiful. The artwork is stunning. And paired with the Urban Crow Oracle, which my mission is to get like different crow decks this year because of my spirit animal being the crow. And look at the backing. I saw the backing anyway, and I was like, yep. I know she has a crow tarot as well, and that's on my wish list. But these two together are so beautiful. And you have that one keyword, which I love. So judgment, grief. Like, I'm just going to show just a few pairings here, but I love this deck too. This Urban Crow Oracle is beautiful. Nature with the star. Ooh, battle with the 5 of coins. Yeah. I mean, there's the colors and everything. I don't know. I just really love these two together. They're just so pretty. And I mean, again, Crow is my spirit animal for the year, so I'm really loving the Urban Crow Oracle anyway. But I also want to pair it with the Raven's Prophecy Tarot deck, which I have, and I haven't paired it with that yet, but I really want to. I did already pair this deck with the Murder of Crows Tarot, which is actually quite a cool pairing too, because you have a lot of the black and white imagery in the Murder of Crows, and then you have like the pop of color with this deck. So yeah, it's stunning. So I'm really thankful to have these two decks now because I've really been enjoying those. Okay, so a deck I've reconnected with is the Linestrider Tarot. So I've been doing also shamanism, and shaman work has like just been coming up a lot for me. And I saw a video by Raecine, again, Almoon513 here on YouTube, where she was talking about the Linestrider Tarot and how she connects it with shamanism, and you know, it has a lot of animals in it, so you get a lot of animal energy, and I love this deck. So I've had it for 2 years now, and I didn't use it much before because at first, like, it's beautiful, but I wasn't really connecting with it at first. But come to find out, it's just because I needed to view it in that way, as shamanism. Because even in the guidebook, the Hierophant, which is my card too, for my life path card, it talks about shamans. And so I was just like blown away by that. But I've been using this deck a lot, and it's been really giving me some good insights for those studies, but even just as everyday pulls too, I've really been connecting with it. And so I've also been carrying around the little mini version. I have the little tiny version too, which is like so cute. So I've been carrying that around with me. I love this deck. I've really grown to love this deck this year, so I'm really glad for that as well. And then going right along with the shaman studies, I came across this deck. This deck has been out for quite a few years now. The Mystical Shaman Oracle by Colette Baron Reed, Alberto. Sorry, I'm not going to pronounce those other two names because I know I will not say them right. I love this deck. Love this deck. The guidebook is amazing. My first pull, here's the backing. And you're supposed to use reversals in this deck too, so there's going to be reversals in here. But the first pull of this deck that I did was, wow, it was powerful. This deck is powerful, and the messages they're like short and sweet in the guidebook, but really give you a lot to think about, journal about, journey with. Like, It's amazing. So this deck has quickly become a favorite. I literally got this like last week, I believe. Yeah, and I love it. Eagle showed up in my dream one night, and I've just really been connecting with it. There's also the crow in this deck as well. So another deck I've been working with and have been loving. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of shaman studies as well, and that's been really fun. Okay, last two little decks here. I did purchase this little Steampunk tarot. This is just the mini. I don't have the full version. I actually wanted to try something different with this one. I wanted to see if I'd like the artwork for one, and see how I would connect with it intuitively. So here's the back. This deck, of course, has been out for years and years as well, and I love the High Priestess here. See if it'll... But I love this little deck, and without having the guidebook, I have to solely use my intuition and what I feel this deck is telling me. And I think that's really cool too. So like as a way to test out a deck, like if you don't want to invest in like the full version, but they do offer a mini version for that deck already, get the little mini version and just see, because it's cheaper. It was only like 11 bucks for this deck, so it's cheaper. And like, I just wanted to see how I would like the deck, how I would like the feel of the energy of the deck, the vibe, the artwork, and I have to say I do love it. So eventually I will get the full version, but I love being able to use it intuitively and just seeing what comes up. So there's the little Steampunk tarot. Plus, with it being mini like this, it's also fun to use as a clarifier. So like when I'm pulling from a different deck, I can pull out one of these little minis to go along with it to see what else the message has to say, and that's cool too. Okay, last thing I want to show you guys is this deck. I just got this deck recently too, and I've already connected with it big time. It's the Under the Oak Tarot. Under the Oak Tarot. This is by, okay, I won't be able to pronounce those names either. But Under the Oak. The white stag here I love, and this deck and this is already becoming another home deck for me. So when I say home deck, I mean I strongly connect with it. It feels like a coming home experience, like you just feel really connected to the world and the vibe and the energy of the deck, and I do with this deck. This deck to me, and I feel like anybody can have more than one like connection or like home deck, because there's certain, like they have different energies and personalities. This one to me is like a big hug. It's a very comforting deck, but there's also more depth to it. There's a lot of growth with this deck. There's a lot of studies. You have runes here, which you can take into a study. You have different mythologies in this deck. You have Celtic, the Basque, Norse, and Greek. So you have all those mythologies in here, and the court cards are goddesses and gods from those mythologies that you can also take and study about. So this to me is a very big, it's a study deck. I actually created my own separate journal for this deck. So I can study it and grow with it and connect with it more. But this one, oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's so cute. It's so sweet and comforting, but also very like, will tell me the truth as well. And I love that. But it tells you the truth in like a loving, supporting way. Like, hey, you kind of need to work on this. So, you know, now's the time to work on it, but I'm going to be here holding your hand along the way, kind of a thing. So I love it. Okay. I think I chatted about everything that I've been up to. Like the decks I've been working on, journaling, the books I'm studying and reading and going through. This month has been such a good month, and I'm grateful for it. But I'm also ready to see what February has in store for me. So let me know down below if you guys have been studying anything, or what your favorite decks are that you've used in January, or just anything. Let me know down below in the comments. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.